There is only one cause in this world, and that cause is consciousness. There is only one creative power, and that power is your own wonderful human imagination. You have been taught to look outward for reasons, to search the visible for explanations, to bow before circumstance as though it were sovereign. Yet circumstance is but the shadow cast by your inner speech. The world you see is the echo of what you have been silently declaring within yourself. Inner talking creates reality. You may not have known that the words you whisper to yourself in the secrecy of your own awareness are the very commandments that shape your world. But it is so. The conversations you carry on inwardly are not idle. They are not empty. They are seeds cast into the soil of consciousness. And consciousness, being the only reality, must objectify that which it entertains as true. Scripture tells us, "In the beginning was the Word." This is not a historical statement. It is a psychological truth. The Word is not uttered through the lips, but conceived in the silence of awareness. Your inner speech is the Word, and that Word becomes flesh, not metaphorically, but literally taking form as events, relationships, opportunities, and conditions in your world. You do not attract what you desire. You do not receive what you plead for. You express what you inwardly consent to as true. The law does not respond to outer effort. It responds to inner conviction. And conviction is born of repeated inner conversation. Listen closely to yourself. Observe the tone of your silent commentary. Notice how often you rehearse disappointment, how faithfully you replay grievances, how persistently you predict outcomes based on former appearances. You may say you want abundance, yet inwardly you are discussing lack. You may say you desire harmony, yet inwardly you are arguing, defending, resenting. The outer world must reflect the dominant tone of your inner speech, for the world is yourself pushed out. You cannot speak within yourself as one who is unchosen, unloved, unrecognized, and expect the world to call you blessed. You cannot inwardly rehearse failure and outwardly experience success. The law is not persuaded by your outer declarations. It yields to your inner assumption. Assumption hardens into fact. That is the principle. Whatever you assume in the secrecy of your own mind, whatever you accept as natural and true of yourself, must be externalized. The law does not ask whether your assumption is good or bad. It does not judge. It does not delay. It simply expresses. Therefore, your inner talking is not casual. It is causal. When you say within yourself, "This never works for me," you are not describing reality. You are creating it. When you inwardly declare, "I am overlooked, I am behind, I am not enough," you are not confessing truth. You are forming it. For consciousness precedes experience. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. The prophet said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." The heart in Scripture is not emotion. It is the center of awareness, the seat of identity. As you think within yourself, so are you. And as you are, so is your world. You do not need to change people. You do not need to rearrange conditions. You do not need to struggle against appearances. You need only to change your inner speech. For the moment you alter the conversation you are having with yourself, you alter the state you are occupying. And when you change state, the world must rearrange itself to mirror that change. Creation is finished. This does not mean that events are predetermined. It means that every possible state already exists. Wealth exists. Poverty exists. Harmony exists. Conflict exists. Recognition exists. Obscurity exists. You are not creating states. You are selecting them, and the selection is made through inner speech. What are you saying to yourself today? Are you speaking as one who is already the person you desire to be? Or are you speaking as one who is waiting, hoping, striving to become? You cannot serve two states at once. You cannot inwardly affirm success and simultaneously rehearse doubt. The state you consistently entertain in inner conversation is the state you occupy. To enter a new state, you must release the old inner dialogue. This is what Scripture calls dying to the old man. The old man is not your body. It is your former pattern of thinking and speaking within. The old man is the version of yourself who complained, who feared, who justified limitation. To be reborn, you must let that voice fall silent. You do not fight it. You do not condemn it. You simply withdraw attention from it, for attention is life. What you attend to inwardly lives. What you neglect fades. If you would experience a different world, begin by carrying on different conversations within yourself. Speak inwardly as though your desire were already realized. Hear the words of congratulation. Hear the tone of respect. Hear the acknowledgement of success. Do not strain to believe it. Simply allow it. For imagination is God, and what you imagine with feeling is the creative act itself. Feeling is the secret, not emotion, but the feeling of naturalness, the sense that it is already so. When you inwardly converse from the end, as one who already is what he desires to be, you generate the feeling of reality. And that feeling, sustained, must project itself into fact. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally. Events will rearrange themselves without your conscious design. Your task is not to manipulate appearances. Your task is to occupy the state through inner speech. If you desire harmony in relationship, do not inwardly argue. Do not rehearse old wounds. Instead, hear loving words. Hear appreciation. Hear laughter. Let the conversation within you reflect the relationship as fulfilled. Persist in that inner talking until it feels natural. Then watch as the outer person reflects the new script. The world is a mirror. It cannot do otherwise. You may protest. But they spoke harshly. They acted unjustly. Yes, but what conversation preceded that event? What assumption were you entertaining? You may not have been conscious of it, yet the law was faithful. It expressed your state. This is not blame. It is power. For if your inner talking created what you do not prefer, it can create what you do. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of your assumption. Christ said, I and my Father are one. This is not theology. It is identity. The Father is imagination. The Son is the manifested world. They are one, yet distinct in expression. What the Father conceives, the Son reveals. What you imagine inwardly, the world displays. Therefore, guard your inner speech. When a former pattern attempts to reassert itself, when you feel the urge to rehearse a grievance or predict failure, do not condemn yourself. Simply remember who you are. You are the operant power. You are the one selecting states, and you select by inner conversation. If you fall, rise inwardly. If you notice yourself speaking from the old state, pause and revise. Revision is the art of rewriting the inner script. Take the scene as it occurred and replay it inwardly as you wish it had happened. Hear the words you prefer. See the outcome you desire. Accept it as the new memory. The outer world will conform. Time does not bind imagination. The past has no reality unless you occupy it. If you continue to speak of it as real, it remains active. If you revise it, it dissolves. The law responds not to chronology, but to consciousness. Understand this deeply. You are not becoming, you are being. And what you are being is revealed through your inner speech. Listen to yourself when no one else is present. That voice is the true indicator of your state. If it speaks from fulfillment, you are fulfilled. If it speaks from lack, you are lacking. Change the voice, and you change the state. There is no need for strain. There is no need for force. The shift is inward and subtle. It is the gentle replacement of one conversation with another. And as you persist, the new conversation becomes natural. When it feels natural, it is done. You will not need to convince the world. The world will reflect you effortlessly. Doors will open without your pushing. People will respond without your persuasion. Circumstances will align without your struggle. For you will have changed the only thing that ever needed changing, your inner speech. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this law. Its simplicity is its majesty. You have been seeking complex methods, elaborate rituals, external confirmations. Yet the creative act has always been occurring within you through silent conversation. Even now, as you listen, you are speaking inwardly. You are agreeing or questioning. You are accepting or resisting. That inner response is creative. Choose consciously. Let your inner talking declare, I am already the one I seek to be. Not as affirmation, but as fact. Let it speak of fulfillment as present. Let it describe your world as harmonious, abundant, secure. Persist until this becomes the dominant tone of your awareness. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot inwardly speak as victim and outwardly live as victor. Choose the state. Speak from it. Feel its naturalness. Remain faithful to it. The law never fails. If you assume you are forgotten, you will be overlooked. If you assume you are valued, you will be honored. If you assume life is difficult, it will appear so. If you assume it flows in your favor, it must reveal that flow. This is not optimism, it is causation. You are not persuading the world, you are selecting a state, and the state contains within it the corresponding world. Enter the state through inner conversation, and the world will follow as shadow follows form. Let the old conversations fall away. They served you once, perhaps in ignorance. But now you know. Now you remember that imagination is God, and that your inner talking is the voice of God declaring what shall be. Speak wisely. Speak lovingly. Speak as one who knows. For what you whisper to yourself in the silence of awareness becomes the decree of your life. And the decree, once accepted as natural, must be fulfilled. You are not waiting for reality to change. You are selecting reality through inner speech. And as you change the conversation, you change the world. Remain faithful to the new voice. Let it become your constant companion. Let it speak of peace where there was turmoil, of abundance where there was lack, of love where there was distance. Do not argue with appearances. They are echoes. Instead, change the sound within. Inner talking creates reality. And you, being consciousness itself, are forever speaking the world into form.